My name is Lamin Jallo, the administrative circle head, Brikama, working with forestry. Yeah, this particular training is very, very important to the field staff of forestry department. As outlined in the training manual, it will really help the staffs in the implementation of community forest activities because in the Gambia, forestry cannot go without the involvement of the local communities. And then if the local communities are involved, it will help the Department of Forestry to manage as much forest land as possible. It is entering in the Forest Act and regulation, and then in the policy that 200 hectares of forest land is supposed to be managed by the local communities at in rural Gambia. Uh, Having this training for the staff to be conversant and then to be acquainted with necessary precise knowledge and tools that are to be used in this particular process will definitely help in realizing that goal. And then the training is a 6 days training. It will really impact on the staffs at the ground because most staffs have learned a lot within these 6 days. They've really learned a lot. They have undergone the theoretical aspect of the training, and then we went further into the field to do the practical aspect, which entails a lot of learning experiences. We've done a lot of activities such as resource mapping, community sensitization on forest management, and then forest assessment, then which the boys have really learned a lot. So that's the training. To me, actually, it will really have a very big impact to the staffs. And then we would like to recommend also for further trainings to be conducted for other field staffs, because it's not that all the field staffs are here. You know, most of the field staffs are a large number of them are here. But if this training is to be a continuous process, it will really help, because refreshers will always help the staff to get a better understanding of the concept, because it's something that you have to master, and then the process have to be in you all the time. So far so good actually. This is a very good training. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. My name is Mr. Ibu Jangha. I am the Regional Forestry Officer for the North Bank region of the Gambia. It is very important for us to organize this training for the staffs. We call it a refresher training. And then the reason why is that for us as a department, we feel that there is the need for some of the times for us to come together as a family and sit together and try to review on our activities, our mandates as a department. I mean, what our policy is advocating for, what our forest acts are saying. I mean, our implementation guidelines, because all the time having a refresher training is like we are building on our capacities and our strength in order to achieve what our policy goals are. So, I mean, in the first place, the staff of the caliber of the staffs that we gathered here today are not the entire department staffs, but are the AC heads. Those are the administrative cycle heads of, I mean, the regions who are present here. We also included some few IAs whom we feel that they are trainable in this particular program today. So, I mean, it is a very important training because participants are learning a lot, because these are the people who are implementing our policies, our guidelines, you know, our aims and objectives. These are the people who are making us to achieve them. I can tell you it's like a car. If it is a car, these are the engine, because they are the one producing results that are forwarded to the regional officers who onward process them for submission to the relevant offices at the directorate. So training them is very key. It's very key, because, I mean, if they are not capacitized, if they don't understand what they are to do in the field, we may not be able to achieve what our aims and objectives of the policy is. So I think that, I mean, we are never late in doing this, and it has to be an ongoing process, because, I mean, the participants from, I mean, the evaluation showed us that they learn a lot. There is interaction going on between and among the staffs, because it's like somebody coming from Basse, somebody comes from Birkama, somebody comes from the North Bank region, let's say Krewan, or from any other village in the West Coast region. Maybe the individual at his or her level, the way he was doing things, perhaps might not be the right way, or he might be not certain of what he is doing. So with this particular gathering today, it's like we interact, we exchange ideas, we learn from one another, which is the best method of learning even.
My name is Sisao Sabali. I am the Deputy Regional Forestry Officer for Upper River Region, Basse. We are here in Janjambure to attend a training workshop on community forest implementation, which is also a very important activity of the forestry department. We have seen over the time the community forestry implementation is a very expensive process. So we have been implementing this as a department through the support of our donors like the GGFP, the CRDFP, the Upper River Forestry Project. Or since those projects went, the implementation became very dormant because there was not much support. We are getting support from government, from FAO and other supporting agencies, but the process is still slow. That is why the products that are coming from our forestry school have not been able to meet the requirement for implementing community forestry. So that is why the department have seen it worthwhile to be organizing on-the-job trainings, especially trainings like this one, giving a refresher training to the staff on community forest implementation. This program is in accordance with the Forest Act, the forest policy of the Gambia Forest Management Concept. All these documents are calling for the involvement of local communities and the private sector in the management of a healthy forest sector. That is why we are involving local communities into management of forests, which is community forestry. So this community forest, the government has, the government policy, forestry policy has aimed to transfer 200,000 hectares of forest from government ownership to local communities. So this transfer is still, we are still far behind target in this transfer because we are still less than 40,000 and the policy is calling for the transfer of 200,000 hectares of forest to communal ownership. So this is why we want to give refresher training to the staff so that they are very much au fait with for community forest implementation so that we can push forward those communities that are still behind, that they still doesn't have their own community forest, to be able to have their own community forest. This process cannot be done in the absence of a highly experienced and technical forestry staff. That is why we have put together all the heads of administrative circles in the country, in Janjambure here, to give them a refresher so that we recall their minds on most of these implementation steps that are giving us a lot of problems to be able to be implemented in our respective regions and administrative circles.